Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. I hope you're doing great. If you're new to the channel, feel free to subscribe down below to support the channel, of course, but also to see more videos like this one where we tackle the markets the minimalist way. So by making a clear and simple analysis, by using clear and simple indicators. Today I'm looking at the pound New Zealand dollar on the 1 hour time frame, and I'm using three indicators: the bottom stop signal, the levels and zones, and the RSI exhaustion down here. If you're interested in the indicators, you can test them yourself. You find the link in the description down below. So what I'm looking here is this setup here, this price action, which looks like the price will likely come down. The first condition that we always check with the bottom stop signal and the RSI exhaustion is to have divergence. So in this case, we have this downtrend here in the RSI. So the RSI is going down, but it looks like we don't have an actual divergence because the price is also going down, okay? But bear with me. So we don't have divergence here. The point is that if we have a bigger look, we have the RSI, which goes down here, and the price, except for this very short upward movement, but the price is pretty much flat at this level here. So even if technically we would like to see something like the RSI going down and the price going up to have a divergence, so technically we don't have divergence or at least a strong divergence, but we have the price which is moving and continuing to test this resistance level up here, and this is the key that I'm about to talk in a second, and the RSI which is going down. So why, even if we don't have a strong divergence, I decide to take this trade? Well, because of this resistance up here. This major resistance is pushing the price lower, okay? So the first condition, divergence between the price and the RSI, is not technically, we cannot technically check this, but we have this, well, first of all, the price continues to push up to this level, so it's technically basically at the same level. The RSI is going down either on a micro point of view and on a smaller price action, the most recent price action here. But what happens is that the price is kind of moving sideways here. So we have this resistance which is pushing the price lower. The second condition, because we don't build a setup just because of this, of course we don't. We need to check multiple conditions, and all these conditions must be met. The first condition, divergence, cannot be technically checked, but we have this major resistance which is pushing the price down. So we are confident enough that the price should continue to go down. The second condition that we need to check is to have the RSI exhausted, and in this case we have the RSI exhausted. You see, it's bullish exhausted here because it's green. It's also bullish exhausted here where we started our trend line, and so it's a very good sign that our analysis is sustained by the technical evidence. And the last condition that we check is the simplest one, which is to have a top. And in this case, we have one here and one other here. These tops are the ones that are displayed by the bottom top signal, and they are confirmed because we have waited the next candle, the close of the next candle. You should always wait the close of the next candle so that you are sure that the top in the previous candle is confirmed. So we have three clear conditions which are all supporting our analysis. The first one is not technically valid, but it is reinforced by the fact that this resistance is pushing the price lower. Moreover, what I like to see is that it is true that this top is lower, so we don't have divergence, but we have the exhaustion. And if you see here on this red portion of the RSI, we had the opposite exhaustion. Sorry, so it was a bearish exhaustion right when the price went down here. So we got bullish exhaustion, then bearish exhaustion, then bullish exhaustion, and RSI exactly tracked the price action. So it looks like everything is moving one with the other. So the RSI and the price are moving accordingly, which is what we want to see. Okay, so what we expect is the price to come down. The stop loss that we need to set, well, of course, our entry level is going to be around this level here. We need to set the stop loss and the target. Regarding the stop loss, if we want to stay enough safe, we probably have to set it here, which is a bit higher than this highest point here, okay? So that we are protected by this major resistance here. Well, first of all, we are protected by this whole sell zone. The red zone here is the sell zone. And then we are protected by this major resistance. So if the price comes back up, it should stop within this sell zone, or at least at this major resistance here. But then we allow the price to move even higher, like maybe in this case or in this case, and so we just place our stop loss a bit higher. Regarding the target, we have two options. If you prefer to be extremely conservative, you can set the target at this support level here, because if the price comes down like we are expecting, because our technical analysis is suggesting so, then it should definitely visit this level here, because we know that when we have these major levels, they get tested at least once, but most of the times multiple times. And so if we are expecting that the price comes down, it is very, very likely that the price comes back all the way to this support level here. However, if you want to be a bit more on the aggressive side, you can go a bit lower, approximately at this level here, because we have some minor structure here. So as you can see, we have some structure here, some structure here, and some structure here. So let me draw a line for you. Okay, so as you can see, it was a structure here, it was a structure here and here, and we don't have any previous structure, however. So what you can do in this case, the risk reward is above 2, which is usually my minimum, so it's 2.33, which is okay. If you wanna be more conservative, you can set the target here. In this case, the risk reward is less than 2, in which case I usually don't take the trade. I mean, this is this setup will be very, very safe. What I do today is to have my target here, so that it is higher than 2. The risk reward is higher than 2. Of course, I don't set the target just because I want it to be higher than 2. I set the target because I'm confident that the price can reach this level down here. The only concerning thing is this support level here, which is a major level, and I'm expecting that if the price comes down as we are expecting, then it might slow down and find some difficult times to break down this major support level here. So what will probably happen, because typically happens when you want to set a target which is beyond one major level, either a support or a resistance, is that you might find some troubles around the level. But since this support is pretty far away from our entry level, what I will probably do, depending on the price action, of course, you need to track the trade as it is open, but what I will probably do is that I will be able, if the price is down here, I will be able to move my stop loss to break even so that I'm safe enough. And if the price then ultimately comes down to my target, I get the profit that I'm looking for. If instead the price comes all the way back up, I'm out in a risk-free trade. This is the setup that I'm currently confident it will play out correctly. So guys, I keep you updated on this trade. The trade is currently open. The price is now a bit into our stop loss area, but it's okay. I'm not concerned about it at all, because as I explained before, we are enough safe and protected by this sell zone here, and as you can see, it is playing a very huge role here in pushing the price lower, or at least preventing the price from moving higher. And then even if the price comes all the way up here, then we are protected a second time additionally by this major resistance. So this stop loss is extremely safe, so I'm very confident that the price is not going to create any issue within this area to us. Of course, we can never be 100% sure, but we have taken all the necessary steps, all the necessary protections to play safe. And so I'm more on the aggressive side as regard the target rather than the stop loss. Maybe different trades might have different approaches, but in this case I prefer to stay aggressive, a bit more aggressive on the target side and play safe on the stop loss side. The thing that I see down here in the RSI is that it is decreasing, which is good because it means that the price should eventually fall. A quick update, guys. So the price played a little bit more into our stop loss area here, but as I said before, this major resistance would have stopped the price from moving higher, and in fact it did. And now the price, it looks like it's moving lower. Actually, we are now at a profit. Of course, the trade is yet to be over, so we just don't get excited. It's okay, we stay rational. We just consider the fact that the price is now moving down, which is okay in order to reach our target. This is exactly what we want. I see that down here the RSI is going down, so it is moving along with the price, and it is also exhausted, bearish exhausted. This is good indeed, because it means that this price action here, and especially considering the fact that it is moving quite quickly now, it is kind of sustained by the RSI, because the RSI is moving accordingly to the price. The fact that it's exhausted, bearish exhausted, is not a warning sign in this case, because the RSI could continue to fall down all the way to an oversold situation, or maybe stay within the usual range, which is like maybe 30 to 50 here, but continue to stay for a prolonged period of time either in this area or oversold and exhausted as well. And at the same time, the price throughout all this period could continue to fall. So it's not totally not an issue, the fact that this RSI is now falling and being exhausted. It is instead a very positive sign, because it means that eventually we should get to our goal. The price kept moving lower quite significantly, and then it is now retracing. It also made a bottom here, but this is something I don't care, because there is no evidence from the RSI and the overall price action that this is going to be a major bottom. It is a bottom that it signals the beginning of a very major uptrend. This is not the case to me, by looking at the RSI, by looking at the whole price action, and by considering the fact that I'm still confident into our initial analysis. So on a technical point of view, nothing has changed, really nothing has changed since our initial analysis. So as long as nothing changes, it is something that you should not get concerned. Moreover, as I was saying in the initial part of the video, I was expecting that the price could find some difficulty around the support level here, and in fact, as you can see, the price was moving down quite rapidly, and then it was stopped. This means that this support is pushing the price higher. It's playing a major role, and this is why I always say that these levels, the resistances and the supports, are major levels, and the price always get attracted by this level, and this is why I'm confident that, considering our initial analysis, that the price will come down as it is right now. These levels get visited, so get tested, get touched. So the target at this level should definitely be reached, considering the current technical situation and the price action. I don't know whether it's going to go lower. This is more speculative and aggressive, like I said before, but I'm confident, definitely confident, that we can reach also this level. What I did in my trading account is that now I moved the stop loss to break even at this level here, this level here, so that in the worst case scenario, if now the price continues to come back up, but I'm not expecting it will, then if the price comes back up all the way to this level, I'm out of the trade with a tiny profit, but the key thing is that I'm out of the trade without any loss. So right now I'm sitting on a risk-free trade. In the worst case scenario, I make money. In the best case scenario, I make more than 2x return. So guys, let's see how it continues. So the price went down and touched the support here. So if your target was here, you would be out of the trade. It was a very safe trade, safe stop loss, and very conservative target. So you would have made, like we said before, a bit less than a 2x return. Right now I'm still into the trade. The price is now moving higher, and it made a double bottom because we have another bottom here. The RSI is slightly moving to the upside, while the price is slightly moving to the downside here. So there is a little bit of divergence. We also have exhaustion and we have a bottom. So technically this is a buy setup, but this is, first of all, a rather weak setup, because a rather weak buy setup, because what I typically like to see is to have this RSI down in the first bottom to be at least oversold. If it is then significantly oversold, it's much better, and then the price should move lower and make some bigger movements into the RSI, and then make some very nice divergence. This is tiny, so it's a tiny movement. It's a tiny downward movement here in the price. It's a tiny upward movement here in the RSI. So I consider this a weak buy setup, and I typically don't trade these setups to the upside, because even if the price now moves a bit higher, which can definitely do, because it's in the end it's a buy setup. Of course it's not granted, but it can definitely do this, but I'm not expecting this to be a major buy setup, which means that a very strong uptrend can begin from here. So I'm on the sell side of this trade, so I look for the price to come down at least again to this support level here, but I'm confident that we can also reach the level down here, which is my target. On a technical point of view, it is a little bit compromised by this situation, but we are on a risk-free trade, so we are totally safe. In the worst case scenario, we don't lose any money, so let's just keep the trade open and see what happens in the end. So the trade is now closed and we got to our target. We barely touched the target first here, and then the price went a little bit higher to retest the level, and then it's finally down and reached our target. So the trade is now over, so the overall return was a 2.3x return, which is not really a great return, but it's still a consistent return considering the long-term profitability of our trading account. So it's okay, it's more than 2, which is my minimum. Of course, we knew that this trade already from the beginning of the trade, that this trade was not going to be the best and most and greatest trade ever. For 2 reasons. Because the first reason was that our first condition, so to have a divergence, was not technically met, and so this was a little bit of a weak sign into our overall analysis, but we still got the trade because of this major resistance up here, and in fact we were correct. The second point is that well, we knew that the risk reward wasn't going to be amazing, and we might end up having some trouble during the downtrend around this support level, and we got some here. But in the end, the most important thing is that we got what we wanted. If instead the price would have gone higher, it was still okay, because in the end we would have not compromised our trading account with a losing trade, and this is very, very important into your trading approach. The first rule you should always stick to is not to lose money. As long as you are able not to lose money consistently, then you are going to make money. Maybe at the beginning you don't lose money, but you make just a little bit of money because your returns are not that big. Because, I mean, for example, if you would have set the target here, as we said before, the return would have been lower, so less than 2x, but it's totally okay, it's totally acceptable. As long as you can consistently get to your target, then you are already into a very good situation, into a very good path towards a very great profitability over the long term. Okay, so guys, thank you very much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please give it a like, subscribe if you didn't already, and I'll see you guys in the next video.